Hi, I'm Jayne from Poppy Patchwork, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to make the All Hallows quilt block. I've drawn the block out in my Quilt Block notebook, and I've written out all the measurements. In this book you will get lots of blank pages, and I find it really useful for calculating the size of my pieces for the block. The odd and even Quilt Block notebooks are available to buy from Amazon. Scan the QR code to visit Amazon. I've just released my new book, The Quilter's Quick Reference Guide, with your favourite cutting charts and step-by-step instructions. The cutting charts include half square triangles, quarter square triangles, split square triangles, flying geese, corner squares, economy squares, half rectangle triangles and cat's cradle. Plus step-by-step instructions for making and trimming your units. Buy your copy today. Scan this QR code or click the link in the description. Now, let's get quilting. So to make this block, we're going to start by making the flying geese, and we're going to make 4 at a time. So for this, we're going to need the large square in A. I'm going to set the others to one side. And we're going to need the larger of the squares in fabric B, and we're going to set C and D to one side. So on the wrong side of these smaller squares, we're going to draw a diagonal line . And then I'm going to place these right sides together in opposite corners. Now you'll see that I didn't measure this terribly well, and I've got a little bit of the selvage on the edge here, but I'm hoping that's going to end up in the seam allowance. So I've placed these in opposite corners, and the diagonal line should run from corner to corner, and now I'm going to pin these in place. And when I take that over to the sewing machine, I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch seam on both sides of that drawn line. I'm now going to remove the pins and cut through the drawn line. I'm now going to set and press the seams. And I'm going to press towards the smaller triangles. And now I'm going to place the other triangle in the remaining corner so that the line crosses through this stitch line here. So when I go back to the sewing machine, I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch away from the drawn line on both sides of the drawn line. I'm now going to remove the pins and then cut through the drawn line. And again, going to set and press those seams. now going to trim these. I'm going to use my preferred method, which is to use the Ultimate Flying Geese tool, designed by Deb Heatherly for Creative Grids. You'll need to trim these using your preferred method, and if you want to right mouse click on the link above, it will take you to my video on how to trim flying geese with a standard ruler. I'm going to set these to one side now. So to make the half square triangles, first of all I'm going to set these out in pairs because there are lots of different combinations for this block. So those are the combinations, and what we're going to do is we're going to draw a diagonal line on the wrong side of the lighter pair of each of these, the lighter fabric for each of these pairs. And so I don't get confused, I'm going to draw the line and pin them as I go. So I'm going to take these to the sewing machine and sew a 1/4 inch seam on both sides of the drawn line. So I'm going to remove the pins and then cut along the drawn line. So I'm going to trim these, and I'm going to use my preferred method of trimming, which is the 6.5 inch triangle square up ruler. You're going to need to trim them using your preferred method, and if you want to right mouse click on the link above, it will take you to my video on how to trim half square triangles with a standard ruler. I'm now going to set and press these seams towards the darker fabric. I'm going to clip the dog ears off and then we'll be ready for block layout. So all those pieces are now laid out in block layout, and you can put them together in a variety of different ways. You could put them together in columns like this. But obviously we've got the flying geese on either end of that side, or you can put them together in groups of 4. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to do these 4 in the corners and then those 3 here. So corners here, and then the flying geese and the half square triangles like that, and then the pinwheel in the middle. So I'm going to start pinning these together now. Now for this one I'm just going to do these 2, and then we'll be able to come back and join these 2 together. Now both of these have been pressed towards the dark fabric, so I'm going to flip one of the seams so that they nest. So I'm going to take these over to the sewing machine and sew with a 1/4 inch seam. I've laid them all out in block layout, and I've decided I want to press all the seams open. So I'm going to do that and then lay it back out into block layout. So I've laid it back out in block layout, and now I'm going to pin together to make 4 patches. So these corner ones here, you need to make sure you don't blunt the points. So if you want to right mouse click on the link above, it will take you to my video on how to sew perfect points in your blocks. On some of these you may need to flip the seams so that you get them to nest together. I'm going to take those to the sewing machine and sew with a 1/4 inch seam. I'm now going to press these seams open. Now we're going to put everything into block layout. And so now we're able to join this together like a 9 patch. So I'm going to join these in pairs, and then I'll pop these along the bottom columns. Now when we're joining these in pairs, we have points to match. So if you want to right mouse click on my link above, it will take you to my video on how to join your points. So I'm going to take those over to the sewing machine and sew with a 1/4 inch seam. I'm now going to press these seams open. And then return them to the block layout. And now I'm going to pin the bottom pieces onto the columns. So now I'm going to go back to the sewing machine and sew with a 1/4 inch seam. And again I'm going to press those seams open. So just going to return these now to block layout, and then I'm going to sew this column to this column and then this column to this column. Once again matching those points. I'm going to take that back to the sewing machine and sew with a 1/4 inch seam. So I've sewn those 2 seams and I've given the block a good press. So congratulations, you have made the All Hallows quilt block. I hope you've enjoyed these videos, and thank you very much for all your support by downloading my patterns and buying my books. Bye for now and happy quilting!